We hope you had a very Merry Christmas. The following is a previously released episode that we hope will help keep that Christmas spirit alive. Since rising to fame in the beloved series Cheers and its hit spin-off Frasier, Kelsey Grammer has continued to take on big roles at a frenetic pace. Along with racking up awards over the years, the actor has set himself apart as a Hollywood star who's fearless about sharing his Christian faith.
In this episode, we sit down with the decorated actor to discuss his new film, The Christmas Ring, the role military veterans played in its making, and the way his faith in Christ has shaped his career. I'm Daily Wire Executive Editor John Bickley with Georgia Howe. This is a weekend edition of Morning Wire.
Have you ever heard of Goldbelly? It's this amazing site that celebrates the best of America by shipping our country's most iconic food from legendary restaurants straight to your door anywhere in the USA. It's perfect for hosting loved ones and is truly a magical, unforgettable gift, making this holiday season one that they'll talk about for years. Get iconic restaurant meals delivered nationwide through our sponsor, Goldbelly. I love the variety of choices that you can get with Goldbelly. I've gotten Lou Malnati's authentic Chicago-style pizza, plus some amazing bagels from New York City. But this holiday season, I'm steering towards something a little more sweet. At Goldbelly, they've got choices galore for desserts. And I've got my eye on a Christmas pie cakin' from the famous New York bakery by the same name and Guy Fieri's holiday trash nachos. So if you're looking for that perfect gift for everyone on your list or want to impress your friends and family with an unforgettable meal and make hosting a breeze this holiday season, head over to goldbelly.com and get 20% off your first order with promo code WIRE. That's goldbelly.com, code WIRE for 20% off your first order.
Joining us now to discuss his new film, The Christmas Ring, written by Christian author Karen Kingsbury, is Kelsey Grammer. Kelsey, first of all, we're all big fans of you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Sure, man. It's a pleasure.
So we wanted to talk to you about, well, a number of things, but first, your new film, which is a very relevant wrinkle to it. We just celebrated Veterans Day this week, and The Christmas Ring actually involved at one point about 100 actual veterans and service members. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, they inhabited the film with at least in one of the big scenes with some veterans and some active duty members as well, and retired and reservists. But it was just an opportunity to salute the troops. The whole story is sort of based upon a World War II D-Day, dropping behind enemy lines. It commemorates their sacrifice a little bit and the continuing sacrifice of service members, and so that being around on Veterans Day was important to the filmmakers. I know that.
And I understand that Gary Sinise and his foundation played a role in finding some of those veterans to populate the film.
Oh, I didn't really know about that because Gary and I are pretty good friends. And he actually checked in with me. What do you think of this movie? And I said, well, it's a nice story, And so I hope I helped, facilitate some of that. But yeah, I think it went pretty well. And we didn't reinvent the wheel or anything, but it's a nice story about redemption and love and forgiveness and about Jesus. So it's a nice movie.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you exactly about that, in fact, the role of faith in this film. The author of the book that it's based on is Karen Kingsbury. She's a Christian author. Mm-hmm. You've recently starred in Jesus Revolution, a powerful film. You played the role of Chuck Smith, the founder of Calvary Chapel, where I actually used to go to church, in fact. Oh. How important is it to you to play roles that you feel align with, or at least sort of have some sort of relationship to your religious perspective?
Yeah, well, I don't actually go about trying to play them too much. Actually, the night before I read the script for Jesus Revolution, I was sitting there in a kind of a quiet reverie and a little bit lonely and, wondering what was next for me. And I said, I just want to do something that means something, that has some meaning. And the next morning that script came and I said, okay, I guess this is it. And I called my agent and in about 2 hours I said, yeah, I'm going to do this movie. It was important to me, but what was funny was it didn't really kind of resonate for my life until I was doing an interview. I think it was Cali or on the East Coast, and somebody talked about what's your feeling about Jesus and all that. And I said, well, the truth is I'm a believer, and I don't go around proselytizing or speaking the born again lingo very well, but I would never deny Christ. I would never deny him, and so that brought me into the fold, I guess, of the sort of faith-based film production world. I don't do just those movies, but I'm quite happy to. This role came up, and I thought, well, yeah, I like this guy. He seems like an interesting fella, and has a nice turnaround in the movie, and opens up his heart again. That's always a good lesson.
Yeah, and your portrayal of Chuck Smith was, first of all, really terrific. It clearly grounded the film as the heart of the film. This is a very complicated story. It's not straightforward. The lives of the real people that it's based on were messy.
Yeah.
They lived messy lives.
Well, that's what Jesus is for, That's why he came along. There's a good. I work with these guys, Operation Restored Warrior. They talk about the world Jesus was born into. Well, the world was a mess, filled with infanticide, killing babies, all kinds of just horrific stuff. Roman rule was not the greatest thing in the world. A lot of violence,
Yeah.
and God chose to send a baby to save the world. A baby that would need other people to save him. It's pretty fascinating, and I always loved that idea that into this mayhem, the beauty of a new life, of a redemptive life, is such a gift, and we get to watch it every year at Christmas. We get to see the same story told again and again, and it's our story.
And it's a story that never gets old, does it? You've talked openly in the past about the role faith in general has played for you and how important it is. And I think you touched on it there, this hope for the beauty of a new life in redemption, and that ultimately that brings people together. Do you look for at least an element of that in terms of the projects you get involved with?
Well, you know what, I'm about to go play a role where the guy's a kind of a shyster, sort of not evangelist, but what you would call a fanatic, who turns out to be kind of a very negative kind of guy. But see, that's what they say, I mean, the devil can quote chapter and verse, I mean, it's
Right.
These elements exist. And so I just believe I'm supposed to, as an actor, play everything that comes at me that, is part of the human experience. And I mean, like I played Macbeth years ago. Macbeth is a very dark character to play. I used to walk around going like, maybe I better say a prayer every time before I play him or something. Sort of. But we are designed to play these roles because we have a kind of an understanding that makes us people can believe we inhabit those roles. They accept us in different roles, and so we loan what I like to call we loan the truth of what we know about experience to the characters so that they sound authentic, that they seem real, that they seem like, oh, I believe that's possible. And that's so I do everything. I mean, and I'm doing we just did another Avengers. I play Beast again in the Avengers movie, and that's about faith too, in a lot of ways. I mean, let's face it. We're saving each other. We're fighting the good fight. It's against impossible odds, and triumph comes to them. That's the Jesus story, isn't it? So.
Indeed. And like you said, as long as a character and a story are grounded in reality, to me, the truth always leads to the higher truth, to Christ. So a film can be dark, but still have a moral grounding. And like you're saying, you're playing a role which maybe points people toward the consequences of sin. That in itself is a faith message.
Right. And it's not necessarily the victory. The victory doesn't live necessarily in that evil. So, I mean, it's a funny world out there. It's we navigate the best we can.
Right. It's messy. Now, obviously, you've played a lot of roles. The landscape has changed for Hollywood in so many ways in recent decades. How have you seen that dynamic playing out in terms of your career?
Yeah, well, listen, there's some diehards here. They're sticklers for, they just don't like religion. They're not going to go for it. They're not going to be part of it. But there are others who are, and that's great. I just think Hollywood finally realized that, there's money out there for for these kind of movies as well. Most of the people in America actually still really like God and Jesus and all that sort of stuff, and like one another, and they want their kids to ride their bikes in neighborhoods where they're safe.
Mm-hmm.
They, these are corny values, but still there they are, and that's part of America, and a place where you can aspire to do something, and nobody says to you can't do it, or the only way you're going to be able to do it is if the government gives you some money for it. No, we do this. People do this. I always believed that social programs were society's business and not the government's anyway. So that's just who I am. But we have an obligation to one another, and our government can't actually fulfill it for us.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. We've been documenting on this show what looks to be a trend in entertainment. Like there's more of a space for faith-focused films lately. And I do think, like you're saying, actually capitalism can end up promoting for its own purposes, a lot of good things. That people really do want to see this stuff. There's a real hunger for it.
Yeah.
So what's coming next for you? You've got this shyster role coming. What else is on the horizon for you?
Well, I'm planning that next. I'm going to go shoot that next week. We've got one in the can that's coming out pretty soon called Turbulence, which is really, really fun. A day trip on a hot air balloon over the Alps is short-circuited by a nutty woman. That's okay.
It happens.
And I don't do so well. Somewhere around the middle of the film, we pitch my guy off the basket.
Goodness.
There's another one coming up when I'm going to fight. I'm going to be fighting some sharks, and there's just fun stuff I get a chance to do. I haven't fought a shark before, so I'm going to do that one.
Just don't jump a shark, whatever you do.
Yeah, exactly. And I've got another one coming up in Malibu where we're shooting for a week. It's called Claws, where a mountain lion's gone a little crazy and killing some people. I end up fighting.
All right, so you fight gravity, sharks, and a mountain lion.
Everything you can. Yeah, everything they throw at me, I'm going to take it on.
Sounds like a lot of fun. So things not slowing down for you at all, even with the holidays here coming up. Kelsey, thank you so much for talking with us. Just a total joy and great luck with the upcoming projects.
Thanks, man. Good to see you. It's a pleasure.
That was Kelsey Grammer talking about his new film, The Christmas Ring, available now to rent or buy online. And this has been a special edition of Morning Wire.